Hi, welcome to SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are previewing UFC 148 right now with Nick Kalikas, returning guest, MMA oddsmaker and consultant for DSI Sportsbook. And our call-in guest for today is Miguel Iturrate from theboxingchannel.tv and MMAoddsbreaker.com. Nick and Miguel, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Now, Nick, we talked about Silva and Sonnen before when we previewed 147. I wanted to get an early take on it, and this is going to be a great fight.
Yeah,
this
sure
is going to be a great fight. What do you think? All right, let me just prep this, showing the real animosity here, right? This is a quote from Anderson Silva indicating how pissed off he is at Chael Sonnen. He said, "I am going to break his face and every one of his teeth in his mouth." Right? Miguel, are you familiar with these quotes?
Yeah, I learned a lot of that stuff as it hit the air. He did it on a conference call with Dan,
right.
I think.
This is all on a conference call. It took a lot of people by surprise because they're not used to Anderson Silva being this. They're not used to him trash talking, right?
Yeah, no, actually, he's usually a cool character. He doesn't have to do much to sell a fight. So.
All right, let me get your quick take on the first fight. A lot of people were thinking that Chael Sonnen had no chance in the first fight and surprised a lot of people with it being so close. What's your take on that? Was that fluky, or do you think he really has the skill level to hang tight with Anderson again?
It's going to depend. The first fight, Anderson was supposedly hurt, and he was also not the typical precise striker that we're used to, like the guy who took out Forrest quickly, the guy who took out a couple over 205 pounders and many people stand up. Sonnen was getting through with some of his punches, and I don't think that that's going to happen in this fight. I think you're going to see Anderson a lot more focused on his feet and looking to do damage, which is a bad sign for Chael.
Okay, Nick Kalikas. We discussed this fight in these odds a few weeks ago, and the line hasn't really moved. You gave the opinion, which I kind of agree with, that you thought that Anderson Silva should be even a bigger favorite. Do you expect this line to get higher? Right now it's minus 260, right where it was 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, it's actually creeping up a little bit in most places across the board. So yeah, there's action a little bit more coming in on Anderson Silva at this point, but I'm expecting a lot of action to get bet on Chael Sonnen too. So
really?
Yeah, I really am. I think that we'll probably see the line continue to increase, and then by fight day, I think we'll see a drop, but maybe 15, 20 cents, maybe more drastic at some point, because the shell backers will come in for sure, no doubt.
Think so?
There's a lot of people out there that think he can definitely duplicate his performance in the first fight, and I don't think it was a fluke. I know earlier you mentioned to Miguel if you thought it was a fluke or not. I don't think it was a fluke. I mean, it was a smart game plan, and he implemented what he had to do there. All of us knew, even at that time, if Chael was going to win the fight, that's how he had to do it. He had to take Anderson down. But I mean, once you get a feel for it, like this is what I said last time a little bit too. Anderson knows a little bit more what to prepare for. A lot of people are going to say maybe, well, we expected Chael to take him down. Yes, but once you're down and Chael Sonnen's on top of you, it's a different feel. He's one of the best wrestlers in the UFC period, if not in the sport's history, really. I mean, when he wants you down, he usually takes you down. I think he's going to have a more difficult time this time. And as Miguel mentioned, I think he's not going to have the success maybe he had on the feet this time as well. And if he does get Anderson down, which probably will happen, I think Anderson's going to scramble a lot better. He's going to look for subs a lot more aggressive, and he is pissed. I mean, don't forget that. This is not some BS to sell the fight, because these two don't really have to.
Oh, of course not.
I mean, so it's definitely some animosity there, and it's going to be a great fight.
So do you think that you're going to wind up needing Anderson Silva big?
Not big. I think we're going to get a lot of two-way action in this fight, and we'll probably need Anderson Silva because hopefully that's the spot we end up being on, but it won't be too big. Because this is another fight you can't really bet huge, because Chael Sonnen can do what he did last time. I mean, we can't underestimate him and his performance last time, no way. But I do think Anderson Silva's a lot more hungry this time, and he's going to look to stop him a lot sooner. So I think that even though Chael's submission game has gotten a little bit better, he's tightened up some areas, he's still prone to getting subbed, and on the feet, Anderson's a level beyond most. So.
Right. All right, and here I have a bunch of prop odds that you've given me here. I'm looking at Silva wins by knockout, TKO, or disqualification plus 115 as an underdog. What do you think about that, Miguel?
Well, I said earlier, I think the fight finishes under 3 rounds. I think Anderson actually has a good shot of getting out the first round, especially if he is able to channel some of his anger. We've seen him take people out quickly, very good people, very tough people. For example, Forrest Griffin. I go back to that fight. He pretty much ruined Forrest's career. We'll talk about him fighting later. And I think he has a chance of taking Chael out real fast. If Chael gets through the first round, then the fight's really going to get interesting. If
Chael does get through the first round, how might you be looking to bet it from a live betting perspective then at that point, Miguel?
I wouldn't put any more money on it until he's through the third round.
Okay.
So until we're into the championship rounds, then I feel Chael may have taken it. If he's through that and he's weathered Anderson's destruction ability and gotten it into the later rounds, he's probably worn Anderson out where Bill Heffler, he's not bleeding and susceptible to a stop. Then after the third round, I would start looking at Chael being a serious contender again. I don't think Chael's going to bonehead and lose it at the very end the way he did last time. I think that's highly unlikely.
Right.
Well, you know what? This is the thing you have to do. You have to tread a little cautiously because I agree with Miguel. If it goes to decision, Chael Sonnen is probably going to win the fight by decision. If he wins, that's the way he's going to do it. More than likely. I mean,
right.
But I do think that Anderson probably could get another late sub, 4 or 5, because last time out in various fights before, you've seen Chael kind of fade as the fight goes on. So I almost think he wanted out of that fight. And right. I know he went 4.5 rounds, but to get caught like he did, I know he was getting tired. You could really look close at the footage. He was exhausted entering that 4th and 5th round. So if it hits the 5th round, he's going to be, I think, so exhausted that it's hard to battle Anderson. I mean, you're battling the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. Absolutely. 5 rounds. Even if you're dominating the guy, it's going to be outrageous how much energy it takes to do that, to be in that position. So even though I think he's right, if it does go close to 5 rounds, Chael probably wins a decision. You can never count Anderson out. I mean, we've seen it. I counted him out last time, basically. You know, heading into that last round, I thought, money in my pocket, and I was wrong. He came back and got the sub. So it's a tough one to bet, and I wouldn't even bet TKO, going back to your comment real quick, because he could finish it by sub. So it's really, I know there might be an advantage in TKO that's more likely to happen in this particular case, but he could finish by sub as well. So a safer bet would be inside the distance. A lot of places don't have that out, but the prop will be out in most places. So if you do see inside the distance for Anderson Silva and get a competitive line, that's probably the best way to bet it.
All right. Let's talk about live betting for a second, Nick, because of course DSI offers what, like continuous live betting throughout the entire fight, not even in intervals, continuous, right?
Yeah, they're one of the only spots that actually do it out there.
So are you expecting like to get a ton of action in fight as well on this?
Well, on this particular fight, yes. If it does go past the 1st, 2nd, 3rd round, we're going to see a lot of action on this, and we'll see probably a lot of people taking Chael by decision as the fight goes on. If it does, make it past the early rounds there for sure.
All right. Well, let's give one final pick on this. My pick, Anderson Silva minus 260. Come on, give me a break. Miguel Iturrate, give us an official pick, a prop or a side here.
Yeah, I think Anderson will win the fight, and if I was gambling looking to make some money, I'd bet he finishes in the 1st round.
Okay. Nick Kalikas, if you had one free bet to make on any of these props, any of these odds, what would you bet?
Yeah, Anderson inside. I mean, the prop's not there yet, but that's what I'd wait for. Anderson inside the distance.